Manchester City versus Real Madrid preview. Second leg, Champions League quarter-final. Huge game at the Etihad Stadium. We haven't lost at the Etihad Stadium in the Champions League since Lyon in the group stage of the 18-19 season. I know we did get knocked out by Spurs in the 4-3 game. But that doesn't really count as a defeat. It counts as a defeat, but not on the actual night, because on the night we won, but overall we lost. I only count as actual losses as an actual loss on the night. So, yeah. If you're wondering why I didn't do a reaction to Luton, it's because I was quite sick. I've got still got a bit of a cold, but I'm a bit better now. And I also didn't do a reaction to the Arsenal against Aston Villa and the Liverpool against Crystal Palace because I was still a bit ill then, and also I wanted to take a bit of a break from YouTube, because when you're sick and you do videos quite often, it's probably the best thing to do to take a little bit of a break to recharge the batteries. But let's get into my predicted lineup for Manchester City against Real Madrid. Goalkeeper Ederson. Defence, I'd go with Diaz and... Is Aki fit? I'm not sure. If Aki's fit, then Aki. And right back Kyle Walker, left back Gvardiol, midfield Rodri, De Bruyne and Kovacic, and the front three. No, wait, actually, not Kovacic in my midfield, actually. Foden in my midfield, sorry. I got a bit of a mistake in there. And on the left, I'd have Jack Grealish, Haaland up front, and Bernardo Silva on the right wing. And now my score prediction is Manchester City 3, Real Madrid 1. I reckon De Bruyne scores fairly early on, maybe first 5-6 minutes. Then Bellingham equalises for Real Madrid, because he does score against City quite a lot, and especially at the Etihad. And then in the second half, Jack Grealish scores to make it 2-1 to City, and then in injury time, Haaland scores to make it 3-1. And I think it will be a Manchester City versus Bayern Munich Champions League semi-final. And I think the scoreline won't really reflect the whole game, because I think it will be a closer game than the 3-1 suggests. But I'm going for 3-1. And I do believe we will get the job done. If it was at the Bernabeu, maybe a different story. But because it's at the Etihad Stadium, and our record at the Etihad Stadium in the Champions League has been fantastic over the past few years, I do think we will get the job done. It won't be easy, but I reckon we'll win. I am nervous, but I would be more nervous if the game was away from home. And a bit on the transfer news. We have been linked with a few left-backs. Anthony Robertson from Fulham, I don't want him. And Nuri from Wolves, I also don't want him. Theo Hernandez, his name has been thrown about there from AC Milan. He's a player that we're always linked with, but we don't seem to ever get him over the line. And Frimpong's name's been mentioned as well from Bayer Leverkusen as a right back. I think we've got to get him, because obviously he was in our academy before, but we let him go. And United's linked with him as well, so we can't let him go there, because he's actually a really good player, and I think he might improve their defence, but knowing with how United are with players' signings, he'd probably get worse there. So I think we've got to get some quality fullbacks in the summer. That's the priority for our transfer market, in my personal opinion. That and midfielders. Because that's where I think we're the most weakest at the moment. Because even though Gvardiol is starting to play well, I do think he's more of a centre-back than a left-back. And Walker's getting on a bit. I don't see Lewis as a natural fullback. And Akanji's a centre-back and not a natural fullback as well. So, yeah. Barcelona against PSG tonight. I will watch that. I might do a reaction to that if anything interesting happens. Because it was a pretty good game in the first leg, 3-2 to Barcelona. I reckon that'll be a 1-1 draw. And that would make Barcelona get through 4-3 on aggregate. So I reckon it might be a possibility that we play Barcelona in the final. Because I'd like to see... God. Sorry about that. But I'd love to see City against Barcelona in the final. Pep against his old club. Because I do like Barcelona. I do like quite a lot of their players. It's only their owners that makes me dislike them a little bit. But I do hope we play them in the final, because I think that would be a good final. And it would be at Wembley as well, so I could try and get a ticket to it if I did get into a position to get a ticket. Because obviously, if we did get into the final, and especially if we were on for the treble again, a lot of people would want to go, so I might miss out, even though it's in my hometown. Sort of, anyway. Only two stops off the train. Because for the FA Cup final last year against United, even though it was really close to home for me, I still didn't get a ticket. So there's no guarantees if we get to the final I'll get a ticket, but I'm going to try anyway if we do get into the final. Because it's once in a life chance, life opportunity to get a ticket to see your team play in the Champions League final. Because it's probably the biggest game in club football. And the only game that's bigger than that in football in general is probably the World Cup final. But, yeah. See you guys in the next video. City, massive game. I reckon we'll win. And we're going to get into the semi-final. Fingers crossed anyway, touch wood. I've got nothing to touch that's made out of wood, but I'll virtually touch wood.